Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Boxrec has done one of their periodic updates to their algorithm, so their point system has shifted again, and it's thrown up some interesting results. The one that you would have seen in the headline is Deontay Wilder overtakes Anthony Joshua for second spot. So we'll come to that and a few others because, I'm looking at some of this, trying to work out how they've actually done it, and I'm coming up blank because we'll start with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. So they are second and third respectively. Joshua was previously a number 2 spot before it was updated, and I believe Wilder might have been as low as 4th or 5th. He was definitely not number 2, he was below Joshua, but as it is now, he is a number 2 with 619.1 points. You can see here on screen. And I thought for a minute, maybe it's because he's just got a bigger volume of fights. He's fought more guys, so there's more opportunity to amass points. But maybe that's some of it, but it can't account for all of it. Because I look further down the list, and that sort of rationale and reasoning doesn't seem to bear out with other results here. So it's kind of topsy-turvy in some places. But at the top, number 1, Tyson Fury, clear number 1, 1,028 points. So he was number 1 after his win over Deontay Wilder. Number 3 is Anthony Joshua, 521.8 points, so almost 100 points behind Deontay Wilder. And I know for some, they're going to get triggered by that. Joshua falling behind Wilder after he beat Andy Ruiz Jr. recently, and Wilder lost to Tyson Fury. And there is always that debate about who has the better resume. From what I can see, a majority of fans believe that Joshua shades that one, just stronger names overall than Deontay Wilder. But people will argue back and forth about that one. And I know that there's going to be comments in the comment section saying it's not even a debate, and there will be people either side of the argument arguing for their guy. So as it is, Wilder overtakes Joshua. Alexander Usyk at number 4, so 297 points. And most of his work was done at cruiserweight. Clearly just the one fight at heavyweight. So he's carrying up a lot of points from cruiserweight. Alexander Povetkin, who has one of the stronger resumes in the heavyweight division in the past decade, he is at number 5. Andy Ruiz Jr., who I believe might have been either in 3rd or 4th spot before this update, is at number 6 now, 190.6 points. He's above Dillian Whyte, who I think might have been at 5th spot previously. I didn't have a screenshot before they changed it. You never really get any warning from Boxrec about when these things change. But Ruiz is above Dillian Whyte, and you could certainly argue on the strength of Dillian Whyte's wins. He's got Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora a couple of times, Oscar Rivas, that maybe it's stronger than Andy Ruiz Jr., who has Anthony Joshua, Alexander Dimitrenko, and not much else. Number 8, and this might be controversial for some too, Michael Hunter into 8th spot. He was there or thereabouts. I believe he was about 10th spot before the update. So he's at 8, 133.8. His body of work is mostly from cruiserweight. And then you have wins over Sergey Kuzmin, the draw against Alexander Povetkin, and also Martin Bakole. So make of it what you will. Number 9, and he was there or thereabouts before the update occurred, Derek Chisora with 93.23 points, and that's despite the 9 losses. And the body of work in terms of his wins is effectively Senad Gashi, Artis Bilka, David Price, Carlos Takam, more recent wins. And I do wonder with some of what's on the list here, because we'll come to Joseph Parker in a moment, is some of it based more on recent form, or how have they actually weighted and changed some of this? Because it's not clear, and it's not necessarily just about a volume of fights either. Number 10, Luis Ortiz, and he's definitely fallen from the previous ranking. Number 11, and this might be controversial for some, Joe Joyce, 68.15 points, record of 10-0. So he's beaten Berman Stavern, former WBC champion, Alexander Ustinov, who was a previous contender of some note, but not for several years, and then also his best win is Bryant Jennings. And Joyce is above Joseph Parker, who's at 12. Parker, more than double the fights than Joyce, but also probably better wins overall. Andy Ruiz Jr., you've got Hughie Fury, Razvan Kajanu, Carlos Takam, Alexander Dimitrenko, and a few others that are better than, in my view, than some of the stuff that's on Joyce's resume, which is quite thin. So some people are going to look at Joe Joyce being above Joseph Parker and go, well, how does that work? But maybe some of it is down to the weighting about when you had the wins, because Joseph Parker, no notable wins in the past 2 years or so, whereas Joe Joyce has done all of his work inside the last 2 and a bit years. Number 13, Kubrat Pulev. Number 14, Oscar Rivas. Charles Martin at 15. And you sort of get to a point here where it looks relatively the same as it did previously, just a little bit of shuffle in terms of the name. So I'm not disputing that the guys who are on this list, you can see here, this is the top 25, don't deserve to be in the top 25. It's when it comes down to sort of shaking down, where they should be. And mostly, I don't have too many problems, but it's more that when I had a look at the site to see, was there any news or analysis from Boxrec to explain the updated algorithm? How did it all work? What changed? What was given more weighting over something else? What previously had been relied on that they've relaxed, or something to that effect? But I couldn't find anything to describe it. And I know that some people will be triggered that Deontay Wilder, coming off a loss to Tyson Fury, is now above Anthony Joshua, who just beat Andy Ruiz Jr. So, yeah, well, make of it what you will. But in terms of the rest of the 25, I don't have too much of an issue with where a lot of guys are. I mean, number 24, maybe you could argue, after recent performances and a little bit of a lack of activity too, that Bryant Jennings maybe is lucky to still be, there or thereabouts inside the top 25. But definitely still about top 30-ish in my view. But this is where, your view of the world and my view of the world, we, weigh things differently, obviously, to this point system. So some of these guys you might look at and go, how is that guy in the top 25? He hasn't done anything yet, or hasn't had a good win in some time, or the guys that he's beaten were pretty faded when he fought them. And these are the things that we're all mulling over. But interested to get your take on this. Drop a comment. Loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.